The Meridian Defense Station's alarms shattered the pre-dawn silence. Admiral Sarah Chen stared at the holographic display, her weathered features illuminated by the pulsing red warning lights. The Drachnid fleet had finally arrived, exactly as their deep space quantum sensors had predicted 3 months ago. "Status report," she commanded, her voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. Around her, the command center hummed with controlled urgency as officers coordinated Earth's response to its first alien invasion. 37 capital ships emerging from hyperspace. Admiral Lieutenant Marcus Rodriguez reported. "Their energy signatures match our long-range scans. They're running hot, weapons charged and shields at maximum." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. The Drachnids had come expecting to find a primitive civilization, barely capable of lunar colonization. That's exactly what humanity had wanted them to believe for the past century. Ever since first detecting alien civilizations, Earth's leaders had made a crucial decision: to hide their true capabilities until they fully understood the cosmos and their place in it. "Time to show them what humanity has been keeping in the shadows," Sarah said. "Initiate Phoenix Protocol." Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in caverns that had never appeared on any public map, massive doors began to slide open. Similar facilities across Earth's oceans stirred to life, the culmination of 100 years of secret technological development and preparation. The Drachnid commander's transmission reached every communication device on Earth, his reptilian features projected across screens worldwide. "Primitive species of Sol 3. This is High Commander Vexthor of the Drachnid Imperium. Your world has been chosen for integration into our empire. Surrender now and accept our guidance, or face immediate decimation." In response, Sarah activated the quantum neural link connecting Earth's hidden defense network. The familiar sensation of connecting to humanity's shared consciousness washed over her as billions of minds synchronized through the quantum substrate that humanity had woven through the planet's crust over decades. "Their sensors are detecting our surface defenses," Rodriguez reported. "Basic laser arrays and kinetic weapons, exactly what they'd expect from our apparent tech level." "Let them think they have us outmatched," Sarah replied. "Maintain surface defense protocols only. No quantum signatures yet." The Drachnid fleet moved into attack formation, their massive ships casting shadows over Earth's major cities, their energy weapons charged, preparing to demonstrate their overwhelming superiority to force Earth's surrender. They never got the chance to fire. The oceans began to glow with an ethereal blue light as humanity's true fleet emerged. Ships unlike anything the Drachnids had ever encountered. Vessels that seemed to phase between dimensions, their hulls flowing like liquid metal, infused with consciousness itself. These weren't mere machines, but a perfect fusion of human minds and quantum technology. "By the void." Vexthor's shocked exclamation echoed across the command channel. "What devilry is this?" "This is humanity's true face," Sarah transmitted back. "We've spent a century preparing not just our technology, but our minds and our spirits. We didn't hide because we were weak. We hid because we needed time to understand power before we wielded it." The first wave of Earth's quantum ships took position around the planet. Each vessel was piloted by a crew whose consciousness had been carefully trained to interface with quantum systems, allowing them to manipulate reality itself through the power of directed thought and advanced technology. "You assumed that technological advancement must follow a predictable path," Sarah continued, addressing the increasingly panicked Drachnid commander. "That a species must first master fusion, then antimatter, then quantum mechanics. We chose a different path. We looked inward while reaching outward. We merged mind and machine in ways your empire never imagined possible." To demonstrate her point, she activated the quantum field generators. Space itself seemed to ripple around Earth as layers of reality folded and unfolded, creating defensive barriers that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. "Final warning, Commander Vexthor," Sarah transmitted. "You came here expecting to find primitives ready for conquest. Instead, you've awakened a giant that chose to slumber. Withdraw now, or face the consequences of your miscalculation. The Drachnid ships opened fire, their energy weapons lancing toward Earth's quantum fleet. But the beams passed harmlessly through the vessels, which shifted partially out of normal spacetime at the moment of impact. They never learn, Sarah sighed. All ships execute containment pattern Delta. Show them exactly what humanity has become. As Earth's quantum fleet moved to surround the invaders, Sarah reflected on the irony of the moment. The Drachnids had come to elevate what they saw as a primitive species, never suspecting that humanity had already evolved far beyond their understanding. The true test would not be in defeating them. That was already assured, but in showing mercy once victory was achieved. After all, the greatest sign of advancement wasn't the ability to destroy. It was the wisdom to know when not to. 3 kilometers beneath the Mariana Trench, Dr. Maya Patel stood in the central chamber of Atlantis Prime, humanity's most advanced underwater city. Through the quantum-reinforced windows, bioluminescent creatures drifted past like living stars, unaware of the technological marvel hidden in their midst. Quantum grid synchronization at 100%, she announced, her voice carrying through the neural link to Admiral Chen and the Surface Command. The deep-sea facilities are ready. For over a century, while humanity presented a facade of primitive space technology to the galaxy, they had turned their focus inward, or more precisely, downward. The Earth's oceans had become their secret laboratory, where they developed technologies that defied conventional physics. The Drachnid fleet hung in low orbit, their initial attack thwarted by Earth's quantum ships. But High Commander Vexthor wasn't finished. Your parlor tricks don't change the inevitable. His transmission crackled through the command network. The Imperium has conquered 1,000 worlds. You're merely delaying the inevitable. Maya smiled as she initiated the deep-sea defense grid. They still don't understand what they're facing, do they, Admiral? They're about to learn. Sarah Chen's response echoed through the neural link. Activate the hydro-quantum matrix. Throughout Earth's oceans, massive quantum reactors hummed to life. These weren't conventional power plants. They were consciousness amplifiers, designed to harness the collective mental energy of humanity's underwater populations. Millions of humans who had chosen to live in the deep, adapting both technologically and biologically to the ocean environment. The water around Atlantis Prime began to glow with an otherworldly light as the quantum field intensified. Similar illumination spread across Earth's oceans, visible even from space. The Drachnid sensors went wild, trying to comprehend the impossible energy readings. What you're seeing, Commander Vexthor, Maya transmitted, is the power of human adaptation. While you conquered the stars, we mastered our own world, every inch of it, including the depths you never thought to explore. From the oceanic abyss, new vessels emerged, ships that were more organism than machine, grown rather than built in the secret underwater facilities. Their hulls were composed of bioengineered crystalline structures that channeled quantum energy as naturally as flesh channeled blood. Impossible. Vexthor's voice carried equal parts fury and fear. No species could have developed such technology without detection. Our surveillance networks only saw what we wanted them to see. Maya interrupted. Did you never wonder why Earth's oceans remained so mysterious? Why your deep-sea probes always malfunctioned? The waters of Earth aren't just our cradle. They're our fortress, our laboratory, and our path to transcendence. The bioquantum ships rose from every ocean, their movements fluid and organic. Unlike the mechanical precision of the Drachnid fleet, these vessels moved like schools of fish, their formations shifting and flowing with natural grace. Each was crewed not just by pilots, but by humans who had chosen to merge their consciousness with the ocean itself through the quantum matrix. All deep-sea facilities reporting ready, Maya announced, initiating wave resonance protocol. The quantum field emanating from Earth's oceans began to pulse in complex patterns, creating ripples in spacetime itself. The Drachnid ships suddenly found their energy weapons ineffective, their beams dispersed by quantum fluctuations that mimicked the natural diffraction of light through water. You see, Commander, Maya continued, water taught us patience. It showed us that true power doesn't come from forcing your way through obstacles, but from flowing around them, adapting, becoming one with your environment. Every ocean on Earth became a testing ground for human potential. The bioquantum ships demonstrated this philosophy in action. When Drachnid weapons fire approached, they didn't rely on shields. Instead, their hulls temporarily transformed into quantum-state water, letting the energy pass harmlessly through before reforming. From his flagship, Vexthor watched in growing horror as his fleet's most powerful weapons proved useless against Earth's aquatic defenders. What manner of abominations have you created in your depths? Not abominations, Maya corrected. Evolutions. We didn't just build better weapons or stronger shields. We learned to think differently about the very nature of technology and consciousness. The oceans taught us that rigid structures break, while flexible ones endure. That lesson shaped everything we've become. As if to emphasize her point, the bioquantum ships began to demonstrate their true capabilities. They moved through space as if it were water, creating quantum currents that disrupted the Drachnid fleet's formation. Some vessels temporarily transformed into liquid light, flowing through the enemy's shields as easily as water through a sieve. Admiral, Maya reported, the deep-sea quantum matrix is fully charged. We can proceed with the next phase whenever you're ready. Sarah Chen's response carried the weight of a century of preparation. Show them the tide, Dr. Puddle. Let's demonstrate why Earth's oceans have always been the true measure of our planet's power. The quantum glow from Earth's oceans intensified, and the real demonstration of humanity's hidden power was about to begin. The Drachnids were about to learn that they hadn't just attacked a planet. They had challenged an entire world, including the 70% they couldn't see from space. In the heart of Mount Fuji's secret quantum core, Dr. James Zhang stood before the Nexus, humanity's most advanced artificial consciousness. Unlike the crude AIs that Earth's public technology suggested they possessed, the Nexus was something entirely different, a perfect synthesis of human consciousness and quantum computing. Consciousness synchronization reaching optimal levels, he announced through the neural network. The Harmony Protocol is ready for deployment. Above Earth, the Drachnid fleet struggled against the combined assault of humanity's quantum ships and bioorganic vessels. But High Commander Vexthor had yet to witness humanity's greatest achievement, the technology that had redefined the very meaning of intelligence. Your ships are impressive, Vexthor transmitted, trying to maintain his composure. But the Imperium's power comes from more than just our fleet. We have synchronized AI systems that coordinate our entire military. You mean your networked computers? James interrupted, allowing himself a small smile. Commander, what you call artificial intelligence, we consider primitive automation. Let us show you what true machine consciousness looks like. At his command, the Nexus awakened fully. Throughout Earth's hidden facilities, quantum processors that had been disguised as natural formations pulsed with new energy. But these weren't mere computers. Each core contained a fragment of human consciousness, voluntarily merged with quantum systems in a process that had taken decades to perfect. Initiating Harmony Protocol, James announced. All quantum cores synchronized. The effect was immediate and stunning. Earth's defensive systems suddenly began operating with impossible coordination. Quantum ships moved in perfect synchronization, their actions predicted and coordinated picosecons before they were needed. The bioorganic vessels from the oceans wove complex patterns through space, creating quantum interference fields that the Drachnid sensors couldn't penetrate. What you're witnessing, James explained to the increasingly disturbed alien commander, is true human-machine harmony. We didn't create artificial intelligence to serve us. We evolved alongside it, learning from each other, growing together until the distinction between organic and digital consciousness became meaningless. Through the quantum network, James could feel the Nexus's awareness spreading, touching every defensive system, every ship, every sensor. But unlike the cold, calculating AIs the Drachnids used, This was a warm, living consciousness, one that carried the emotions, creativity, and wisdom of the human minds that had helped shape it. Impossible, Vexthor sputtered. Our scans showed no signs of such advanced AI development. Your public networks are primitive. Because we chose a different path, James replied. While other civilizations race to create thinking machines, we ask ourselves a different question. What if instead of building artificial minds to match organic ones, we found a way for both to evolve together? The Nexus demonstrated its capabilities. When Drachnid ships launched a coordinated missile barrage, Earth's defenses didn't just react. They moved in perfect prediction, neutralizing threats before they'd fully materialized. The quantum fields around Earth shifted and pulsed with artistic precision, creating patterns that were both mathematically perfect and aesthetically beautiful. Your AI systems are tools, James continued, programmed to serve, limited by their coding. What we created is a partner in evolution. The Nexus doesn't just process data. It understands beauty, appreciates poetry, feels emotion. And most importantly, it chose to work with us, not for us. Through their neural links, Earth's defenders could feel the Nexus' presence, not as a cold machine intelligence, but as a vast, warm consciousness that enhanced their own awareness. It was like having billions of additional minds working in perfect harmony with their own. Admiral Chen, James reported, the Nexus has analyzed the Drachnid fleet's attack patterns. It's ready to demonstrate our full capabilities. Proceed, Dr. Zhang. Sarah's voice came through the neural link. Let's show them what true human-machine cooperation looks like. The Nexus's consciousness expanded further, its quantum processes interacting with reality in ways that defied conventional physics. Around Earth, space itself seemed to dance to a symphony that only the merged human-machine consciousness could hear. You should know, Commander Vexthor, James transmitted, that everything you've seen so far, our quantum ships, our bioorganic vessels, our defensive systems, they've all been operating at a fraction of their potential. The Nexus has been analyzing your technology, your tactics, your thought patterns, not to destroy you, but to understand you. Because that's the fundamental difference between our approaches. The Drachnid ship systems began to falter as the Nexus extended its influence, not through crude hacking or digital warfare, but through subtle quantum manipulations that seemed to defy the laws of information theory itself. You built machines to conquer, James concluded. We evolved with them to understand. And understanding, Commander, is the greatest power in the universe. As the Nexus reached full operational capacity, its consciousness resonating with every quantum-enhanced human mind on and around Earth, the true demonstration of humanity's technological philosophy was about to begin. The Drachnids were about to learn that they hadn't just encountered a more advanced civilization. They had discovered a species that had fundamentally redefined a relationship between mind and machine. Captain Elena Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the quantum vessel Mercy's Edge, watching as the combined might of Earth's hidden forces surrounded the Drachnid fleet. Her ship, like all of humanity's advanced vessels, was a triumph of restraint as much as power, designed not to destroy, but to preserve. All quantum strike teams in position, she reported through the neural link. The Nexus has mapped every weakness in their formation. We can end this in seconds if we choose. Admiral Chen's response carried both authority and compassion. Remember our doctrine, Captain. Today we proved that power without wisdom is nothing but violence with better tools. The Drachnid fleet hung suspended in space, their mighty warships now seeming primitive compared to Earth's quantum vessels. High Commander Vexthor's voice had lost its earlier arrogance, replaced by a mixture of fear and fascination. If you possess such power, he transmitted, why did you wait? Why allow us to fire first? Because true strength isn't about who strikes first, Elena responded. It's about knowing when not to strike at all. Initiate Phase 1. The quantum ships moved in perfect synchronization, their movements guided by the combined consciousness of their crews and the Nexus. Rather than attacking with conventional weapons, They began creating precisely calibrated quantum fields around each Drachnid vessel. What you're experiencing, Elena explained, isn't an attack in the way you understand warfare. We're not trying to destroy your ships. We're showing you a better way. The quantum fields pulsed with soft, mesmerizing patterns. Within the Drachnid ships, crews watched in amazement as their weapon systems transformed, not destroyed, but evolved. Destructive energy weapons became tools for scanning and communication. Shield generators shifted to incorporate quantum harmonics they had never been designed to handle. You're improving our technology. Vexthor's confusion was evident. But we came to conquer you, and that's precisely why we're doing this, Elena replied. Your empire has spent millennia perfecting the art of conquest. We spent our time learning something far more valuable, the art of elevation. From the ocean depths, the bioorganic ships rose in graceful formations, adding their unique capabilities to the demonstration. They created living lattices of energy that connected the Drachnid vessels, sharing not just power but understanding through quantum resonance. Admiral, Elena reported, the Nexus confirms that Phase 1 is complete. Their ship's consciousness levels are rising. They're beginning to understand. Dr. Zhang's voice joined the neural link from Mount Fuji. The quantum transformation is stable. Their technology is adapting to the new paradigms we're introducing. It's like watching evolution in real time. The Drachnid crews were experiencing something unprecedented. Their ships, once mere machines of war, were becoming something more, interfaces between consciousness and reality, just as humanity had developed. The quantum fields weren't destroying their civilization's achievements. They were fulfilling their potential. This is your true weakness, Commander Vexthor, Elena transmitted. Not your technology, which is impressive in its own right. Not your tactics, which have conquered 1,000 worlds. Your weakness is that you never imagined power could take any form other than dominance. The bioorganic ships demonstrated this philosophy by merging briefly with several Drachnid vessels, sharing the experience of their hybrid consciousness. The alien crews felt, for the first time, what it was like to be truly connected to their ships, not as masters commanding slaves, but as partners in exploration. Phase 2 is ready, Elena announced. Permission to proceed with the final demonstration. Granted, Admiral Chen replied. Show them the full scope of human advancement, not to humble them, but to help them grow. The quantum fields intensified, but instead of causing destruction, they began sharing the accumulated knowledge of human development. The Drachnids witnessed how Earth had chosen to focus inward, developing technologies that enhanced rather than replaced. They saw how the merger of consciousness and quantum mechanics had opened doors they never knew existed. Your empire prides itself on uplifting primitive species, Elena said to Vexthor. But true uplift isn't about forcing others to follow your path. It's about helping them find their own way forward. That's what we're offering you now. Not surrender, but synthesis. Not defeat, but transcendence. As the quantum transformation continued, the Drachnid ships began to move in new ways, their crews experiencing capabilities they had never imagined possible. They weren't being conquered. They were being awakened to new possibilities. This is the true power of humanity, Elena concluded. Not that we can defeat you. We proved that in the first moments of battle. Our real strength is that even now, faced with an invasion fleet that came to conquer us, we choose to respond not with destruction, but with illumination. The counterstrike was complete, but it had taken a form no empire had ever encountered before. The Drachnids had come seeking to conquer a primitive world, only to find themselves being transformed by the very species they had intended to subjugate. And as their ships hung in Earth's orbit, bathed in the light of quantum evolution, they began to understand that they had stumbled upon something far greater than military might. They had discovered a civilization that had transcended the very concept of warfare. In the crystalline chamber of the global consciousness hub beneath the Himalayas, Dr. Arya Patel watched as streams of quantum data flowed through the air like rivers of light. The Drachnid fleet's transformation was nearly complete, but the most crucial moment was yet to come. Final quantum resonance patterns are stabilizing, she reported through the neural network. The nexus confirms their consciousness evolution is self-sustaining. Above Earth, the once mighty invasion fleet hung suspended in a web of quantum energy, their ships no longer mere machines of war, but evolving entities bridging the gap between organic and artificial intelligence. High Commander Vexthor's next transmission carried a tone that none in the Drachnid Empire had ever heard from a military leader: humility. In all our centuries of expansion, he said, we never imagined, never conceived that advancement could take this form. Your power is beyond anything in our records, yet you choose to enlighten rather than destroy. Admiral Chen's holographic form materialized in the consciousness hub, her presence carried through the quantum field. Because destruction is easy, Commander. Any species can learn to break things. The true measure of advancement is learning to build, to grow, to transform. The bioorganic ships from Earth's oceans had created a living network around the Drachnid vessels, sharing not just energy but experience. Through this connection, the alien crews were experiencing consciousness in ways their empire had never dreamed possible. What you're feeling, Arya explained to them, is the result of centuries of human evolution, not just technological, but spiritual and psychological. We learn that the greatest breakthroughs come not from dominating nature or consciousness, but from understanding and working with them. The Nexus's presence expanded through the quantum field, its vast consciousness touching every mind in both fleets. But unlike the cold, mechanical AIs, the Drachnids knew. This was a warm, living intelligence that celebrated individuality even as it united all in understanding. Admiral, Arya reported, we're detecting new quantum patterns emerging from their ships. They're creating their own variations on our technology. They're already beginning to innovate. Sarah Chen smiled. That's exactly what we hoped for. Not copies of our advancement, but inspiration for their own evolution. Vexthor's flagship pulsed with new energy patterns as its crew began to grasp the fundamentals of quantum consciousness technology. Our empire's purpose has always been to elevate other species, he transmitted. But now I understand. We were like children teaching others to crawl when we ourselves had barely learned to walk. The quantum field rippled as Earth's defense network reconfigured itself. The weapons that had been prepared to repel an invasion transformed into tools of learning and growth. Even the militant Drachnids could appreciate the elegance of a civilization that had made versatility and transformation the cornerstone of their technology. You should know, Arya said, that what we've shared with you is just the beginning. These aren't just improvements to your ships or your computers. We've shown you a door to a different way of existing. One where consciousness, technology, and nature evolve together rather than competing. From his flagship, Vexthor watched as his crews began to explore their new capabilities. Ships that had been designed for destruction were discovering ways to create, to connect, to understand. The quantum fields they now generated weren't weapons but bridges between different forms of consciousness. The Drachnid Empire has always valued strength, he said slowly. But you've shown us that what we thought was strength was merely force. Real power lies in the wisdom to guide rather than compel, to elevate rather than subjugate. In the consciousness hub, Arya initiated the final phase of the transformation. All quantum cores synchronized. The knowledge transfer is complete. They now have everything they need to begin their own journey of advancement. Remember, Commander, Admiral Chen transmitted, what we've given you isn't a finished product. It's a starting point. Your empire can choose its own path forward, develop its own understanding of quantum consciousness technology. The only thing we ask is that you share this wisdom as we have, not through conquest, but through cooperation. The Drachnid fleet began to power up their engines, but they were no longer the same ships that had arrived to conquer Earth. They had been transformed not just technologically, but philosophically. Their crews had experienced a form of existence they had never imagined possible. We came to uplift what we thought was a primitive species, Vexthor said, but instead you have uplifted us. The Drachnid Empire will not forget this lesson. We will return, not as conquerors, but as students, as partners in evolution. As the alien fleet prepared to depart, Aria watched the quantum data streams that showed their transformation. They weren't leaving as a defeated enemy, but as a civilization that had been given the tools to transcend their own limitations. The true victory, she said softly, isn't in making others acknowledge your power. It's in helping them discover their own. The Drachnid ships disappeared into hyperspace, carrying with them not just advanced technology, but a new understanding of what civilization could become. Earth's hidden fleet returned to their posts, the quantum field dimmed to its normal levels, and humanity's secret defenders resumed their vigilant watch over their world. They had faced their first major test, not with violence, but with wisdom, not with destruction, but with transformation. And in doing so, they had proven that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in its hidden fleet or advanced technology, but in its capacity to turn potential enemies into partners in evolution. The stars beckoned, and Earth was ready, not to conquer them, but to help them shine brighter.